Hello again, I am Blunty, and this is actually the third friggin' Switch-related video I've made today. This one's going to be a lot calmer, by the way. And yes, I've made a lot of Switch videos lately, and yes, 3 in a day might be a bit much, but I'm basically here in the hopes of making videos you guys will want to watch. So if I see a demand for covering a specific topic, well, I basically got it, don't I? And you guys have just been gobbling up the Switch commentary, and today, of course, comes news that has made quite a lot of Zelda fans in particular either angrier than a metaphor about someone being especially cranky, or it has made other Zelda fans pretty happy indeed. But there seems to be, as with a great many things in gaming, few people prepared to take anything less than an extremist stance on the issue. The issue is, of course, DLC. It's always DLC. People love to argue about DLC. Is it good for the industry? Is it good for the consumer? How has it affected game design? Is it a cancer? Is it a glorious way to extend the life of a beloved game? Well, Nintendo announced today that Zelda Breath of the Wild, the flagship launch title for the Nintendo Switch, even though it will be spluttering along on the Wii U also, with terrible amount of pop-in and crappy draw distances. Have you seen it on the Wii U? Ugh. Anyway, there's a season pass consisting of 2 DLC packs and a bonus for those who pre-purchase it rather than waiting to buy each DLC pack separately, if indeed they even let you buy them separately, which I don't think they've said, have they? The pre-purchase bonus consists of 3 new treasure chests that will appear in the game's Great Plateau area, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, Zelda hardcoreists, the starting area for Breath of the Wild. 3 new chests in the starting area. A bit of an early game advantage there, right? Not too bad. But one of those new treasure chests' potential usefulness has been destroyed. It will only contain a shirt. A shirt with a friggin' Nintendo Switch logo on it, you know, just in case you wanted to completely obliterate any chance you have of letting the game immerse you in its wonderful world of swords and sorcery and bobobligans and whatnot. So that's pretty dumb. Hopefully you can maybe sell that shirt to a merchant in the game and get some rupees for it or something. But at least the other 2 chests will deliver useful items, supposedly. They haven't really said what they are, so who knows. But the first actual DLC comes in summer, or winter, depending on which side of the equator you live on, of course. Holy fuck, I wish companies like Nintendo would stop using seasons to indicate release windows. It's so dumb. Our planet is round. It rotates on an axis. That when you say winter, it doesn't mean the same thing everywhere or in the world all at once, you morons. Anyway, the first DLC pack will include the addition of something called the Cave of Trials Challenge. Sounds like it'll be some sort of mini-dungeon full of puzzles and the like. Until we know how big it is or how much there is to do in there, it's impossible to gauge how much value it represents versus the cost of the DLC to begin with. But to be fair, Nintendo's other DLC, like with Mario Kart 8, is usually fairly generous. So as difficult as it is to give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt these days, I'm willing to do so on this. But the thing that's really sticking in people's craw is the third listing for this new DLC. There is a new hard mode. That's right. The hard mode is apparently buried behind a DLC paywall, which sounds like a super dick move, except for the way it's phrased. A new hard mode. Now, I'm not really a Zelda player. Many of you guys know this, I've talked about it before. I mean, I will get this new game as it's the only launch title game I'm interested in spending money on, but historically, I have gotten my action-adventure fix elsewhere outside of the Zelda series. Cue gasping from hardcore Link lovers. But as relatively ignorant as I am about the Zeldaverse, I understand that traditionally a hard mode, or hero mode, usually opens up after you complete the main story of a Zelda game, right? And the extra challenge is applied through the fact you take more damage more quickly. Correct? Yes? No? That's what I'm told anyway. But it seems to me that perhaps with the wording of this DLC calling it a new hard mode, perhaps it is something different, something additional. Perhaps, if you'll allow me some conjecture, it'll limit further your inventory space for weapons or healing items, and that would certainly make the game harder. Perhaps it'll crank up the HP of every enemy in the game, everywhere. That will certainly make the game harder. Perhaps it'll disable your map or something. That'll make the game impossible. We really should wait and see on this one too, because while many are assuming that the normal traditional hard or hero mode is now locked behind a paywall, I'm betting this isn't the case. I reckon that traditional hard mode will still be there and this one will do something different. Again, it's difficult to give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt these days, but on this I will. Please don't burn me again, Nintendo. Finally, and most vaguely of all in the first DLC pack, there's something called a new map feature. Way to be obtuse, Nintendo. That's super helpful. What the actual fuck is that supposed to mean, and how does it add value to the pack or the game? No effing idea. The second content pack, which will launch in holiday 2017, again, why not just say fucking November/December? What's wrong with that? There are lots of holidays all throughout the year. It's only by context we assume you mean the Christmas holiday season, because that's what's usually meant by that, but who knows? Anyway, this one adds, quote-unquote, new challenges and an entirely new dungeon. Once more, as a more or less newbie to the modern Zeldas, I have no point of reference for the value this represents. How much content is a dungeon? Is it 15 minutes worth of gameplay? Well, 4 hours? 3 days? I've got no idea. You guys may have to help me, if you can, with some context on that. How big are dungeons usually in previous Zelda games? But most interesting of all is the promise of an entirely new original story, distinct from the main quest of the core game. Now that sounds like it adds value. But again, is it an hour's worth of new story or another 20 hours worth of new story? We need more detail until we can calculate the value versus price factor for our own personal needs. And frankly, Nintendo, if you want people to be spending money on this, you need to tell us what we're spending the money on in specific details, please. Why are you so bad at communicating? I don't understand it. You're 100 and something years old as a company. Surely you figured out how to talk to people. But you know what? What is worth $20 for someone is way overpriced for someone else, and this is especially true when it comes to game DLC. For me, personally, I'm going to perhaps hold off. My relatively brief experience with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild so far has me intrigued, but I'm not sure whether it's going to get its claws into me yet. And in the last few days, I've watched a lot of other coverage and other people's gameplay from various events and demo sessions to get a better idea about what this game is doing, and from that, I think I am going to enjoy it. It does seem a bit more sparse than what I'm used to. I like a more compact, more densely layered action-adventure puzzler, like the new Tomb Raider games, which I very much enjoyed. While this new Zelda seems to be quite a lot of empty space. And that slightly concerns me. It's a huge map, but how much is there to do in that map is the issue. But I do in fact have it pre-ordered now. I am absolutely getting it day one, and I'm coming in with an open mind. So, if you Zelda hardcore folk have any tips or hints about the kind of way I should be approaching the game, please feel free to enlighten me. And also, I especially invite you to try and give me some educated perspective on the potential value of the DLC packs when it comes to things like the Trials Challenge and the new dungeon. I honestly don't know what defines either, at least in the specific terms in the context of an open-world Zelda game. Some games have dungeons that are tiny, some games have dungeons that are huge. I don't know what it means for this game. But yeah, for the furious out there knee-jerk reacting to this news of Zelda DLC, who actually, it is pointless to address at this point because they never made it this far into the video before vomiting up an angry opinion in my comment section because they don't care about listening to other people's perspectives. They just want another place to argue and vent. Well, okay, to the rest of you, if you see those other kids screaming through the playground, just to let them know this one is one of those wait-and-see things. Give it a chance. And don't stop asking Nintendo for more information on this. Sooner or later they have to listen, right? I wonder if I should purchase the pack right away. I mean, maybe that Switch logo t-shirt has a special magic, like scaring away the hobobobgoblins, or whatever the fuck those big things are called again. Hobobgoblins? Hobloblings? Pigface guys. In my playthrough, I'm just going to call them Pigface guys. Come here, Pigface guy. I'm going to jam a sword in your nose. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time. Come here, pig fucker!